Quebec City.
Ah, in Quebec, in Canada. Okay, very close. I grew up near Toronto. And so, you know, in that kind of culture and I mean, I was born in the 90s, but like before that, it must have been a real push to capitalize and to profit and to grow. And maybe you were...
I studied finance at McGill University.
Okay.
I worked for the Royal Bank.
Okay, so you were in that.
I was doing this, yes. I was convinced that it was important and the thing to do. And when I realized that it didn't really make me happy, then I changed. Basically, I went for traveling.
And what was there a specific thing that like triggered that?
I didn't like. I was planning on traveling. I didn't know what to do. I was earning money doing something I didn't like. So I had this salary and I didn't know what to do with the money. I mean, I don't like to go spending. At the time it was to buy CDs, for example, or music. Everybody had the same. I mean, I didn't want to do this. So I thought that maybe I'm going to buy art, things, and I found that it was also not such. I mean, I'm not attracted to hoard painting, whatever.
Yeah,
so I
just to possess.
I decided to go for the experience. When traveling, and that opened my mind, I guess. Different cultures, how other people live. Other places. So I decided that basically here is. I mean, I had this moment of really feeling strongly I needed to be here. I wanted to be here, and that was after an experience that made me realize that we as human beings can decide to follow our not impulses but our inspirations or what makes us what we feel we want to do and not necessarily what we think we want to do.
Or what we've been conditioned to say, this is what you must do, you know, or this is the only sensible way of living life. I think travel also for me was a very necessary way of breaking down that understanding of life and saying, oh, actually there's so much possibility, there's so many options, and there's room in this web of life for me to also hone in on what I'm drawn to, my curiosity, my passion, which we're, speaking for myself, we're told like, oh yes, you should do something you love, and you're a lucky generation, you have all the opportunity, which is true in a sense, but we also have a lot of momentum and a lot of things that are pushing us down a course that is pretty catastrophic in many ways, to just be a bit vague, but this is kind of what led me to jump out there, and thankfully I've been able to meet people like you who have been at it for a lot longer than I have, and have already put in a lot of work and a lot of time in building the foundation for how to move forward and
well, to do this well, I think you need a certain dose of what you could call faith. It's this trust, this belief that things are gonna work, that you won't die starving by yourself in a remote, under the tree, whatever place,
But this is the central fear that kind of keeps people in line. It's like you don't want to be a failure because you'll end up exactly desperate, homeless, in a desolate situation.
This for me is key. If you have faith in in this reality that it's basically we're adapted to it. We made to be here, and it's a beautiful world, and we're not threatened. Nothing urgent is going on in general. So you can sit back a little bit more and be inspired. Look around and feel connected. And once you feel good, you're gonna have an inspiration. And this is what you one can follow and be happy following and be good at it. You know, and so the brain doesn't do that. The brain helps you to select how to do it, but not what to do. You know, the brain helps you analyze, okay, if the destination is this, then we should take this step and this step. Okay, you can go with the brain for these type of decisions sometimes. But in general, when you have a feeling, this is more important. I believe our brains, we're not intelligent, capable enough to understand all the scope of this reality in general. And our emotional intelligence is actually way more, how to say, far-reaching and can guide us better. And when you do this, you're in the flow, you have all these opportunities arising. You know, when I decided to not work in the finance sector and be in a little hill in Guatemala, I had no real plan. I felt that's what I had to do, I wanted to do, and then believe it. Okay, it's actually okay to follow this instinct or lead, or I've been so happy and led into doing things that I hadn't imagined. I'm smiling most of the time.